ask a number of times. If he didn't get it from one person, he'd get it from another. And he, as far as I know, he'd zero in on you till you knew you had to respond somehow. So, and he was a bulldog for what he wanted. And I've learned so much about where he came from. He came from good people, the Stanley heirs. And this, there's two things I just wanted to say about these things. First of all, thank you to the Stanley heirs, and we have a little presentation that Greg Steinbrenner has put together with Tina and everything, and we want to thank them for doing that, but we have a little thank you presentation. And if it weren't for them, sometimes people would say, oh, Larry's mountain, or they'd say, oh, Larry saved that mountain. And we want to make it very clear, it wasn't just Larry's mountain. It was the Stanley heirs, all of them, and the Gibsons. And if it weren't for all of them working together with reunions and doing genealogical connections, at the first reunions, they had boards up. And they would put in the family trees, and they'd have people come over there and say, hey, do you know where they are? Well, I think I heard they are living over there. Well, do you think you can contact them? And, well, I mean, I think it was like 5,000 people that they went and contacted. And the reunions they had here, they had bingo going. Red Fraker's wife would be running the bingo, and it was fine doings up here. A lot of good food, a lot of good people putting, good time into this place. And when Larry first came up here, this needed clearing, and they said, he goes to his Uncle Hoot, hey, Hoot, I think we should do a little of this work. And then they do it, and then he'd say, well, I think we need to do this now, and I think we need to build one of these things, and I think we need to do this, and I think we need to do that. So he was always having work crews. And like Kenny, we have Kenny here and his lovely wife, and Kenny did a lot of taking care of the place and doing a lot of lawn mowing and everything else. So just to remember that it was through a lot of good people's work that this beautiful park became a park, and they've been good hosts to Larry, the people Larry brought in, which formed a community. And this has been a home. This Kayford Mountain has a presence of its own, and it's loved the community that Larry brought. It's loved the community that's taken care of it. So I just we're gonna have, like I said, a little presentation, but just to say thank you to all the Stanley heirs. And so we have Becky Gibson right there, and daughter Tina, Greg Steinbrenner, and anybody, just raise your hand if you're related. There you are. There. And so we'll have that in just a minute, but I wanted to say also, I've been talking to a bunch of you, and some of you I didn't get a chance to interview, and I apologize. I did like over 100 interviews, and so I didn't get everybody, and when I put together the project, I didn't get to get everybody's great quotes, because there's so many heroic stories, and I have been in awe of all of you. And I have been. So I didn't get to meet you, just like the singers, I didn't get to meet you when the movement was really at its height, but I did get to meet people through talking to them. And the first person I met, Becky, come on up. The first person I met on the phone was Becky. And I was so afraid of doing this project, and Alan felt that I could, but I was petrified. And I called this lady up, and she was so warm and welcoming. I just fell in love. And I fell in love with all of you. So thank you. And there's Aunt Zelda and Uncle Hoot, and they were, once Larry came back up here, they were his parents basically. They really took care of him, and You know, Zelda's a firecracker, and you'll see her when you see, if you don't know who Zelda is, you'll see her singing in the lovely presentation that Greg did. So Greg, can you raise your hand? And Tina, so we want to thank you guys too.
Thank you.
Yep. And that's actually for them. So somehow if it gets to them, that would be great. And Alan, I just want you to come up here for a second because I have something for you. So I was saying that Larry was persistent. He asked at least 5 people that I know of interviewing to write his biography. And a few of them are here. John Murdoch, he was asked, so he's been very helpful today. And he asked Alan, he asked Owen, Reverend Owen. We have to give a nice shout out. He may have come, the 2 people, or the 2 groups who may have come the farthest, and well, Susan came from Scotland, so that counts. So I think she gets the furthest. That's Susan Thompson right over there. And she may have come the farthest. But then we have Reverend Owen from Pennsylvania. Is that right, Pennsylvania? Yep. So put your hand up. He was so moved by Larry Gibson when he just saw him talk. And Larry came up to him and said, "You have to write my biography." So he's here. He's been supporting. And he asked Alan.
Yeah, I want to say, is this on? Not
Yes.
on. It is on. I just need to swallow it. Okay. Several people I can just look at that really helped a lot. When we had Michael and Carrie Klein interviewed Larry and Hoot, she transcribed into transcription. I really thank you, Elise Keaton. Wait. Janet.
Where's Janet?
Raise your hand, Janet. Okay, she did a lot of interviews.
She did some great interviews.
And helping for the project. And I could just look around all the people who have helped. Maria, thank you for your
Maria,
help.
we have to thank her that this is even happening. She came up with some work crews, and so
That's
did
right.
Junior Walk. And we want to thank you.
And Michael Witt, who brought the
Canopies.
he cut some trees down that were blocking the road. Thank him.
Yes,
too.
and we have Jen Osh's here, and she had put together all these music for movement, so she's going to give us some music later. And Reverend Jeff Allen's here, and Jen's boys, they were teaching Mountain Soul in outdoor school. There's our next generation. And I think I'm missing. Oh, and
What is
Aaron Massey's
Aaron
here,
Massey.
and then and you said Mike Witten. Anyway, we're all so glad you're here.
Yeah,
But
I'll just say about Aaron Massey, who raise your hand, Aaron. He's back there. Aaron is a professor at West Liberty. That's up sort of in the Wheeling, Weirton area, and taking PhD studies under Bradley Wilson, who's was up here with Maria a couple weeks ago, cleaning up the place. But Aaron is writing his dissertation, doctoral dissertation, in the mountaintop removal resistance. So that's a lot of the people here and so forth. So Aaron's here, and I want to again shout out to the Stanley family. Kenny, I'm really glad you're here. Thank you so much. Kenneth has just a quick anecdote. A friend of mine goes to our church in Pocahontas County, Bennett Holbrook, and Bennett, just before I was leaving, we're borrowing